Hello everyone, welcome. Today, we are back in Enthusia with this gorgeous 66 Ford Mustang GT. Very, very nice. One of the original Tony cars. That was created pretty much a brand new vehicle segment. And oh, it is gorgeous in that dark deep cherry red. We entering the first race, getting warmed up with a run at the low-end steering. Whole full grid of vehicles that we have not yet won. So let's make sure we do well here. That TVR is going to be very difficult to beat. But as long as we can get a decent points playing position, or right out of the bat, and kind of get acquainted with our vehicle, we should be fine. So let's dive in. This Ford Mustang, the GT, is powered by a 289 cubic inch V8 engine with a 4-barrel carburetor, making a very, very respectable amount of power. With a lot of acceleration as well. This old horse still has quite a bit of tricks up its sleeve. Still not quite as fast as that TVR though. That TVR is brutally quick. Only way we can really kind of beat it is to exploit the fact that the AI does not really use their vehicle's performance to their fullest when they go around bank turns. Ooh, braking is a little bit sketchy though in the Mustang. I'm doing a lot of counter steering. It is a little bit like it's a slow slide. It's not twitchy per se, but like it kind of just wants to like lazily slide through the corners. And it does feel very, very nice to drive though through these first couple of corners. Like as far as like classic muscle cars go, you know, a vehicle from the 60s, obviously you can't really expect it to perform, especially around corners, as well as a more modern vehicle. But it feels reasonably good, and if you can predict it, you can kind of get a good sort of inertia drift going around the corners as well, without losing too much speed. Oh, it's the heavy braking though that it wants to get crossed up just a little bit on. Slowly apply more power. It's that V8 engine. It is very, very torquey, as most V8 engines are, and it does wanna spin the wheels a little bit on heavy acceleration, especially out of the corners. It does have a solid rear axle suspension, non-independent suspension, which means it'll probably get a little bit squirrely over some rougher terrain, or at the very least bumpier circuits. I'd imagine this vehicle would have some issues, especially on like the really, really bumpy street circuits, like Pacific. What was the track called? The San Franciscan one. Pacific Challenge, I think. All right, I'm getting close now to the tail of the lion. Through Starfish, onto the tail now. Yeah, that TVR is brutally quick. And a very, very gorgeous color on that as well. I love when I first played Gran Turismo 3, which is a little bit different game, but also a really, really fun game. I recommend playing it if you ever get the chance to. I was absolutely blown away by the TVR cars, because this was my first sort of introduction to the brand of TVR, was through the Gran Turismo games. And seeing, especially the Tuscan Speed 6, and all of the chameleon and reflex colors, where the colors would shift as depending on how the light hit it. I'm like, oh, this is a factory color? Whoa, that was so cool. Like, young Isaac was blown away by that. And I mean, to be fair, modern day Isaac is also blown away by that. The color shift colors on those vehicles was gorgeous. And then seeing pictures and video and a whole bunch of other, seeing all that of these real life vehicles, of them in real life. The game, despite doing a very, very good job at portraying just how cool it is, still doesn't do it justice, because it is gorgeous though, that paint color. nice and easy. Get the car sliding around these tight hairpins. Very, 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 you gotta be kind of very slow, very smooth. Little micro adjustments with the car as well. You do not want to try to overcorrect, which is a very easy mistake to make in the Mustang. Oh, but that looks gorgeous too. I love the first generation Mustangs. James, you know, and obviously a lot of movies also featured the first generation Mustangs and really kind of showcased how beautiful they were. You know, everything from Bullet with Steve McQueen with the '68 fastback to James Bond in Diamonds Are Forever with the '71 Mustang Mach 1 with the red with the white line tires. Absolutely gorgeous. I think Goldfinger also had a 65 or 64 and a half Mustang in it as well. I think that was driven by one of the characters, which was also very, very nice. And then of course you have the Gone in 60 Seconds franchise, where you know you have Eleanor, the Shelby GT 500 Mustang, which is super nice. And all of them are just, you know, they are vehicles that, you know, people you know, they see in the movies and they go out and they want to get it as well because those cars are just so cool. Evening, Sprockets. How you doing tonight? Hopefully you're doing well. I'm just talking about the different movie Mustangs. Because the first generation Mustang was actually like super prolific as like a hero car in the movies. From everything from, you know, Steve McQueen using it in Bullet to James Bond using it in Diamonds Are Forever to the Gone in 60 Seconds franchise as well. The Mustang's very prevalent movie car, and for good reason. It is a gorgeous piece of machinery. The first gen one is. It is a little bit slidey driving it around the track. Let's see what we're able to unlock. Ooh, we did get the TVR as well. That's nice. The Cerberus with the color changing paint. This game doesn't do it quite as as much as I like this game, it doesn't do the paint justice for the TVR cars. But seeing videos of those cars in real life with the color changing paint and everything, and seeing how the light reflects off of it, oh my gosh, it is so cool. It's like Ford did that as well with the 4th generation Mustangs, with the Mecha Chrome. What was the paint option called? I don't think it was multicolor. It was an option for the 4th generation though. What was that color option called? Special model Mustang. Oh, Mistachrome. There we go. Mistachrome was the color option. Sorry, Mistachrome. That was an option for the 4th generation Mustang. I know it was so cool as well, because that was also, you know, the color changing paint. Whereas it was like purple, but also it could be green, depending on how you looked at it, which is really nice. Ooh, the good old touring car race. So this race, the good old touring car race, this is one of the few means of unlocking a race car in this game. Granted, this one The race car you unlock is one of the slowest tarmac race cars on it, because it is also a classic racing vehicle. From the silhouette, I'm sure some of you racing enthusiasts can probably guess what it is, but I'm not going to spoil the surprise. But it is a classic touring car racing vehicle that I do quite like myself. It is a very, very gorgeous piece of machinery. It's just that it is not really competitive with any other vehicles in the game, so when you do get into it, you're sort of relegated to make races against all the other same vehicles. Oh boy. Oh, a lot of arging and barging. We're starting from the back, right in the Nordschleife circuit. Alright, we need to be patient with the Mini, okay, that BMW is not being patient at 2002 Coupe. Ooh, 3 wide on a Nordschleife, that is very dangerous. Alright, I need to get up with the Z, if I can avoid getting spun by the Beamer. Oh, we're having a much rougher time this race. The Mustang does not like the bumps and the rolling hills of the Nordschleife. Alright. The field is kind of spread out a little bit more. We can probably begin making our moves now, getting past them. We're probably being just a little bit too impatient earlier on. Alright, there we go, up in the 4th. We gotta watch ourselves over Flugplatz. Car can catch air here. Little tap of the brakes, keep it on the ground. Want to make sure it stays stable. Go around the RX-3 on the outside. Its rotary is no match for a big mighty V8. As much as I'm a rotary guy, we are on a very, very high horsepower section of the track. Blow past the Mini. And let's get caught up with that Z. That Z is going to be our main competitor right now. As we're in our 66 Mustang GT. That 240Z up ahead is fairly quick on the straightaways. We do have more acceleration than it, because we do have more power, more displacement. But that Z is pretty quick on the straightaways due to its gearing. And it does handle very, very nicely, despite it being an older Z from the early 70s. So it's gonna be a little bit tricky, because we max out at roughly just under the 130 due to our 4-speed transmission and acceleration-based gear ratios kind of hurting us a little bit in that regards. But to the slower sections, if we can drive smooth enough, I think we can catch up to the Z. Will be a little bit tricky though. We've got this. Alright, ease onto the brakes, get it turned in. A little bit of counter steer so the car doesn't spin. Trying to troll brake in the Mustang is, ooh, it's tricky. It is tricky. You basically want to have it ready, have yourself ready to counter steer just as you begin to turn in, because the car will want to turn in quite a bit. But it's good though, because you can sort of almost run it like a bit of a drift car, just a little bit sideways through most of the corners, but you can still carry a lot of speed. Only downside is we're going to get crossed up on this corner. Yep. We got very crossed up in that corner. That's bad. Okay. We need to gain a lot of time now. We need to gain a lot of time on the leading vehicles. We have not done our car well. We've had 2 major incidents on this course. That corner complex is very tricky in unstable vehicles. I think for that I need to play it just a little bit safer and go into it at a slower speed, just so the car itself doesn't get too crossed up under braking. Because for a single turn or a corner complex that isn't like one right after the other, I can get the car to kind of slide into the corner and then slide through the corner. But with that corner complex, it's very, very difficult because you get it to slide into the one, but I can't get the weight to transfer, so I can kind of slide it through the other corner. It just kind of keeps wanting to slide through that first right-hander, and it wants to keep turning right, even as it's going into the left-hander, and makes it very, very difficult. That's probably like the corner complex that trips me up the most on the Nordschleife. Most of the rest of the track isn't too bad. It is just that corner complex right by the bridge that is just very, very, very difficult. And it's not even just this game, it's just this track in general. That's the area that messed me up the most often when I was doing the license tests in Gran Turismo 4, trying to get all gold on those was very, very difficult. Alright, nice and easy through the carousel. Gotta get back up with that RX-3. RX-3 is a very, very nice car as well. With the twin rotor carbureted, gorgeous little rotary engine in there. Produces about 120-ish horsepower, depending on how it's spec'd out. But it revs super high, and it is an absolute screamer. Even completely stock, it is a very, very loud vehicle. It's because of how high it revs. And it is able to match us quite well on the twisty bits here. It is very nimble, thanks to its lightweight nature. Very, very nice. We do have a little bit better acceleration on this short straight here, but it's going to be tricky trying to pass. It's going to be very, very tricky trying to pass. We need to pass, though, as that Z is steadily pulling away. I just got to make sure we pass in a safe spot so we don't overdrive the car going into one of these corners, because it's very easy to overdrive, especially these older cars. I think I can outbrake it going to this tight right-hander here. There we go. Yes. Alright, let's get up with that Z. Let's see if maybe we can match it down the very, very long 1.3 miles straight at the very end. It's gonna be tricky. It does have a slightly higher top speed than us. It's about 9 seconds ahead. Absolutely throw the Mustang into that corner. So I believe we'll get the reward car even if we finish second place, as long as we finish within the points. But we were the favorite to win this one because we were in one of the faster vehicles. So we definitely can't lose. We need to win. We have the most power. We have decent handling. Just a tad bit wide there, but we carried a decent amount of momentum onto the straight. We're already approaching our top speed. Yeah, 127. Oh boy. I hope that RX-3 doesn't catch up to us, because that does... I think that one has 5 gears as well, so it might be just a little bit quicker than us. Whereas we are limited to 4-speed. Oh, it is catching us. Alright, get into the slipstream. Let's outbrake it going into the final corner complex. We got this. We've done this before with the Datsun chasing down the Treno. We can do it again here. Gained a little bit more time on us than we thought on that straight. Nope, that was a bad corner. Okay, we were going to be third there. That's unfortunate. We did very poorly that race. On the bright side, though, we still get the car. It is the BMW 3, the 3-liter BMW CSL racing vehicle, the Group 5 touring car, the Batmobile, as it was frequently called, due to its very, very aggressive aerodynamics and its very, very large rear spoiler. It was nicknamed the Batmobile among the other racing teams in the paddock, and it looks absolutely gorgeous in that livery, the factory livery. Very, very nice. Got a very nice amount of points as well. And the tuning level was increased. Very good. Alright, good. We got grippier boys. We got grippier tires. Truly dreadful amount of points though. But we can do better next race. We would definitely do better next race. But I wanted to get that racing car. I wanted to get that Beamer. Alright, the good old touring car race, we've already done that. American Supercar meeting. Over 4-liter race. Let's see what options we have here. American Supercar meeting. Pacific Challenge. Oh, it's Pacific Gateway is the course name. Rear-wheel drive limited race. We'll be up against a modern Corvette and a classic Mustang. I'm not too sure that will work out well for us. And here, Subaru 5, Skyline, and Preza. We might actually do decently here because we can use the grunt of the Mustang to kind of carry us up the hill. So I don't think we'll do too poorly. We just gotta really watch ourselves over some of the bumpier sections. Make sure we don't spin the vehicle. 2, 1, let's roll. Just a little bit of wheel spin there off the line. Not too much. Oddly enough, with the pony car segment, technically the Mustang wasn't the first, depending on how you look on it, because the Barracuda was sort of one of the first sort of vehicles that would technically be classified as sort of like a pony car, where it was, you know, a specially made sort of lighter weight two-door vehicle with a high-powered V8 engine in it, designed more so for, like, you know, a good mix of handling and straight-line performance. But because the Mustang was a bigger derivation from what it was initially built off of, that being the Fairlane and the Falcon, compared to the Barracuda, the Mustang oftentimes gets credited with being sort of more so the codifier of the genre, of the pony car segment. And plus also, if you're gonna call it a pony car, you know, call a segment a pony car, obviously the main example is going to be the Mustang, which is also named after, you know, a horse. Plus also, I quite like the fact that the Mustang created the Camaro, which is also a very, very nice car. So thank you, Mustang, for creating many high-performance vehicles to also compete with you. I do appreciate that as well. This vehicle being partially created by, or at least conceptualized partially by Lee Iacocca, but also developed by a lot of really great people at Ford. I'm really glad they created this type of stuff. Fun fact though, if you look at some of the early Mustang concepts, the Mustang 1 concept actually started out much closer to what the Corvair would eventually be, the Chevrolet Corvair, compared to the actual Mustang and Camaro. With it being a mid-engine, two-door, sort of sporty, lightweight car, with the little inline 4-cylinder in the back. Again, very, very similar to sort of how the Corvair was for Chevrolet. But instead, they decided to develop it more so off of a lot of components being used from the Fairlane and the Falcon to create the lightweight pony car that we have here. Although it'd be very, very interesting how things would have changed if they had created them, sort of stuck with sort of the original sort of conceptualization of like the Mustang 1 concept car, and pony cars were instead just a very, very lightweight, sort of low displacement but high agility American sports cars. Because if that was the case, if that had become the case, then the Fiero could technically be considered an American pony car then, if history had been different. But no, instead we still got, you know, truly amazing vehicles with the Mustang, with the Camaro, with the Challenger and Barracuda as well. Very, very nice vehicles. And then we got an absolutely glorious era of Trans Am racing with all of those beasts. That basically the initial concept of the pony car was to have a lower displacement V8, keep them lightweight, keep them, you know, very, very good handling and everything. And then when the era of Trans Am came around during the early 70s, American manufacturers were like, yeah, but like, what if we just stuck the biggest engine we could into them? And then you had 400 some plus cubic inch engines in these real itty bitty pony cars, and they were so fast. And that's how you got stuff like the Javelin and all of that as well. Yeah, we did decently in that race. Managed to win that. Mostly clean. Only a few off-course excursions and one unfortunate touch at the wall. Still did well though. We got 2 potential vehicles to win, 2 JDM legends. Either the Skyline GTR or the Impreza STI. Got the STI, very, very nice. Absolutely gorgeous. Boxer 4, intercooled, turbocharged, 4-wheel drive. Very nice car. Oh, we've leveled it up as well. Very good. Gonna get even more power from its monstrous... Okay, not necessarily monstrous, because it is a fairly lower displacement V8 engine, but from its very, very potent little 289 cubic inch V8 engine. Very nice. Got a very nice, very respectable amount of points. Let's see what races we have available to us now. See, so the race that we're going to be replacing is a race that is, you know, a race we didn't get any points on. So if we want to maintain our ranking, we can enter pretty much anything as long as we win. So let's try to get some more vehicles. I think that would be a good idea. See if we can't enter an event that would allow us to unlock some more vehicles. I think we've unlocked. Oh no, we can still unlock the Mustang Mach 1. One make race at Tsukuba. Ooh, front wheel drive sporty car. That looks like a Civic Type R. Let's do it. Let's get the Civic Type R. Let's win that. Mustangs are on Tsukuba. Oh, this is gonna be a little bit tricky of a race. Because the Mustangs, you know, they're very, very classic, you know, classic pony cars. It's gonna be a little bit difficult getting them around the very tight, twisty, technical Tsukuba circuit. But it is gonna look gorgeous while we do so. All of them with the white line tires. The classic muscle cars with all the different sort of various colored tire trims as well. Always looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm personally partial to having the white line tires. It's just very, very classy. It's like you wear, you know, a button-down shirt, you wear some nice slacks and everything. Okay, very good. But then you add a nice tie to it. It ties it all together. It makes it, you know, just a little bit more higher class. Looks very nice, very smooth. And it's the same with, you know, you get your classic muscle car. Looks very, very nice, very you know, very mature, very lovely. And then you put on the white line tires with a nice set of like Krager rims, or even you keep the OEM rims as well if it's the, you know, the high performance rims instead of just the steel wheels. And it looks very nice. It adds to the character of the car. But it's also one of those things that the, you know, white walls and white line tires and everything. It only looks good on, like, you know, a certain section of vehicles. Like, I don't think there's too many modern cars that will look good with white wall tires today. But on like classic cars, yes, it looks so nice. Or it's like underglow. Underglow actually looks half decent on like a certain section of cars. Usually a lot of, like, you know, the lighter weight import tuners and stuff. But to see a bunch of underglow on like an otherwise, you know, classic muscle car and everything, it's it kind of clashes a little bit. Granted, more power to you if you do that and everything. Your vehicle, your choice. Do whatever you want. But it just, I don't know. It's like combining, you know, two very different eras of automotive style. Then again, if you put Altezza lights on a Mustang, I guess you could then get away with putting neon lights on it. We're actually doing half decently right now. The rest of the Mustangs are also having just a little bit of difficulty around the track. The Mustang, ours is actually doing half decent though. We're keeping it. It's very stable. It's being very well behaved right now. It's not getting crossed up under braking, which I was worried it would happen, especially under right going into that tight hairpin that we just went through. Because you're braking as you're kind of going through the S curves there, and it's very easy to rear to spin around and get laid on you if you're not careful. But no, it's handling very nicely actually. As we're getting ready to approach our final lap here around Tsukuba, onto the back straight. One of the few sections you can really kind of let the engine open up, and then you get onto the very long right-hand sweeper. It's just slightly banked away from the inside, so you got to be really patient, because otherwise the car will get plenty of understeer on the exit, which is no good. It's a deceptively tricky corner, that final corner at Tsukuba, because it's a late apex, lots of trail braking, and you really need to kind of watch your speed through there. It's very easy to be impatient and try to get on the throttle too much, especially with it being right at the end of the lap. You want to get a very good lap time at the end. But the more you try to like push it, the slower you'll go, because you'll just keep going wider and wider. Thankfully, there's plenty of curbing runoff as well, so you're not always getting it into the grass. You can still get a decent amount of traction on the curbs compared to the dirt and the grass and everything. But it's not something you want to do too much, because it is still technically quote-unquote off course. Full speed here. Nice little bit of trail braking, get the car nice and turned in. Went just a little bit too fast on the entry of the corner. We were able to save it. 11, 12, 13. Almost 113 dead. Very nice. Decent lap time. Very respectable lap time for a mostly stock Mustang GT. Alright, let's see. I believe it's a Civic Type R. It is a Civic Type R that we can potentially win. Yes. Very nice. And the gorgeous championship white. That was took inspiration from Honda's 1960s Formula One racing cars. Very nice piece of vehicles. Very fragile though during the 60s. Those racing cars, but they look so nice. They look very nice. There we go. The Mustang's even lighter now. Didn't get a whole lot of points, but that is perfectly fine. Alright, now let's next race. Let's see what we can enter. We will have to do half decently in the points. We will have to do half decently on the points. Try the rear-wheel drive limited race here. And ooh, this one might be a bit tricky. Because that Tamura and that S15, that Nismo S15 are going to be brutally quick. But we have a decent shot. We got a decent shot. We got a lighter weight Mustang with decent tires on it. This is a course that I like quite a lot. I can do so yeah, we have a decent shot. That Renault Turbo as well. That'd be a cool car to win. We haven't unlocked that one. One of the really early sort of Group B and sort of Group A rally cars. Very well, not necessarily Group A, but like sort of right before Group B became a thing. It was sort of one of the ones that kind of helped with the creation of Group B. This is a specially created car, an homologation special design specifically for rally and touring car racing. And that Renault 5. And there's technically two phases of the Renault 5 Turbo. There's the phase 1, in which the front and rear bumpers are lighter weight and are painted the same color as the body. Usually they'll be the bright reds or the bright blue colors. And then you have the phase 2, which is a slightly lower performance version, where the front and rear bumpers are just a little bit heavier, and they are painted black, as opposed to the body color of the vehicle. And that vehicle there, that is the Renault 5 Turbo phase 2, which you can tell by its black front and rear bumpers. Both vehicles though are quite quick, very agile, mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, turbocharged, and classically turbocharged, so lots of turbo lag, but lots of power once the turbo spools up. Little inline 4-cylinder engine, I believe. Quite quick though, very lightweight. Okay, we got the ZZ1, and we got the Tamura behind us. Sorry, just in front of us. We got the S15 behind us. Surprisingly, that hasn't passed us yet. Though I imagine that won't stay that way for long. The S15 is one of the Nismo-tuned ones. So it is going to be very quick. Gotta watch yourselves through the chicane. Just cut the chicane completely. The Tamura also got very crossed up under braking there. I saw that get very loose. The Tamura is a very tricky car to drive, both in real life and in game. Very tail happy car, just because of one, how lightweight it is, and two, due to the fact that it has absolutely zero driver aids. Alright, we're able to carry just a little bit more momentum through that corner. That TVR is slowly pulling away just a little bit. It's got a little bit more grump from its engine. Alright, let's try to get a better launch out of the chicane here at the bus stop. Little tap on the wall there. Let's try to avoid that so we can keep upgrading our Mustang. It's mostly well behaved. It's just a little bit slidey here and there. I'm not going to go for that overtake. That is going to be a very risky spot to overtake. Oh, alright. The TVR might have made that overtake stick with the Tommy Kira. Nope, okay, never mind. Tommy Kira had the better acceleration right out of that hairpin. Oh, but they are side by side, neck and neck, dueling each other. There we go, now he made the pass stick. Alright, let's try to get in front of that Tommy Kira. It's a mid-engine Japanese low production sports car. It's got a targa top as well, so it's can be a lightweight roadster for you. I liken it to be very similar to a Japanese Lotus Elise, with it being, very lightweight, mid-engine, inline 4-cylinder vehicle. Oh, this Mustang does not like the chicanes. Absolutely not. Okay, we need to do our braking for chicanes in a straight line and then get off of the brakes as we go through the corner. Oh, that has not done us well. That has been a big mistake there. That S15 is now right behind us, and it's got plenty of power to pass us on this straight. Let's carry speed through this corner. Off of the bricks, onto the tarmac now. Get a little bit more grip. There we go. All right, managed to pull away just a little bit from that S15, that Sylvia. Downside is that we have lost leading 2 cars, as there was a chance we could fight for a second place finish there. That is unfortunate. We may have to settle for 3rd if we can keep the car off the walls. One other cool tidbit about the Mustang is that a surprising number of them made it into right-hand drive, specifically Australian markets. And they were fairly prevalent in touring car racing in the Australian markets as well, which is really, really cool. The Mustang was kind of a very, very early global American car, whereas a lot of other muscle cars did not necessarily, were not able really to make it over the seas. And the Mustang, however, was, and was quite fairly successful in its class in Australian touring car racing as well. I think it was Class F. There was a whole bunch of Group F touring cars, I think it was, which was the big V8 touring car class. I think that was. Do not quote me on that. Please do not quote me on that. It's some group and then a letter. But I can't remember off the top of my head which letter. But it did surprisingly well in its class in Australian touring car racing as well. Really cool vehicle, the Mustang. And then when the Mustang 2 came out during the 70s gas crisis, not a lot of people like that. Let's put it lightly. There was a big outcry to Ford to kind of bring back the V8s, and as well when Ford was initially testing the idea of making the Mustang front-wheel drive. Again, there was a very big outcry and lots of letters outpouring the Ford Motor Company to make the Mustang rear-wheel drive, which is good because otherwise the Mustang would have been what's now known as the Ford Probe, which, while not a bad car, the Fox body Mustang is a much sportier vehicle, much more akin to the original design of the Mustang. I actually don't mind the Mustang 2s all that much, which may be a controversial statement to some Ford fanatics. I can understand the controversy at the time, but I also understand the position Ford was in with no one's buying big V8 muscle cars during the time when everyone needs fuel, but the Mustang is sort of our bread and butter. Let's at least make a spin-off of it, and it was still it still had some semblance of Mustang in it, with it being a moderately sporty, vehicle for the upper middle class American to drive and enjoy and everything. And the Mustang 2 kind of did fill that role decently enough. But it definitely people wanted their V8s in that Mustang, and Ford delivered with the Fox body. The Fox body Mustangs are quite nice, especially the later, like the early '90s ones, when they kind of went to the more aerodynamic front look with the notchback. So with the fastback design, it looks a lot better than the notchback Fox body Mustangs. Looks very nice. The Fox body is such a nice Mustang as well. It's people are starting to kind of realize that the tuning potential of it. They're kind of seeing more and more of them, being used for grassroots motorsports like autocross and drifting events. 87 to 93 notches look great. Yeah, no, the entirety of the Fox body generation, they all look really, really nice. I also like the T-Birds of those generations as well, because the T-Bird kind of got a little bit sportier also. Because beforehand, the T-Bird was starting to get, with every generation, the T-Bird was just getting bigger and bulkier and slower. The 80s and early 90s T-Birds were a big breath of fresh air. But for the Fox bodies, I personally prefer the fastbacks. The notchbacks still look really, really nice. But the fastback design just looks so sleek, very aerodynamic, very, very nice. But both the notchbacks and the fastbacks are all just very, very nice looking cars. But you're seeing the Fox bodies much more often in drag racing, in drifting events, in autocross. Just because nowadays it's a very, very lightweight chassis, and there's plenty of Ford off-the-shelf V8 engines to swap into the chassis, and it can most of those engines will fit quite nicely in there, which is very nice. 97 Thunderbird was the prettiest car of the blend 90s. Yeah, definitely. It was very, very nice, very dynamic, and as well seeing things like the Monte Carlo and the T-Bird as well in the NASCAR era, with the sort of a slight reintroduction of the aerodynamic wars. Those cars were super cool as well, and even nowadays hold some of the fastest average speeds around the courses like Daytona and Talladega. Like, I think that the 87 T-Bird stock car still has like the fastest top speed around Talladega with 212. And I think that was Bill Elliott that set that record with the T-Bird, which is, it was sort of the spark, along with a couple of pretty bad crashes. It was one of the sparks that kind of encouraged NASCAR to introduce restrictor plate racing afterwards, which kind of brought the speed down just a little bit, brought the power down, and brought the cars much closer together, with a heavy reliance on drafting and working as a group to kind of push through the air and get away from the rest of the pack. But oh my gosh, seeing granted, it's just a little bit before my time, the pre-restrictor plate racing, but seeing old videos of those races, oh my gosh, it is so nice. Seeing the sheer speed of those vehicles it is terrifying, because you look at those speeds, and then you look at the qualifying speeds for like the Indy 500 during that same time, which are purpose-built, open-wheel, high-performance racing cars that people spend millions of dollars to develop. And instead you have stock cars, which are basically sort of America's touring car division. And these stock cars are reaching speeds that are just shy of these open-wheel, high-performance racing cars. And that is a terrifying thought. Like, nowadays the gap is much larger, where the stock cars only reach just under 200 miles an hour, roughly like sort of upper 180s, low 190s on the super speedways, whereas the modern day Indy cars reach closer to like 230 in the Indy 500. Back during the 80s, it was only like a 10 mile an hour difference. With I think like the qualifying lap record for the Indy 500 at the same year that T-Bird set the fastest speed at Talladega, the fastest the pole position qualifying time for the Indy pole position qualifying speed for the Indy 500 was like 223. It was only like 10 mile an hour difference. It is mind-boggling to think of that. Alright, we need to get back up with that MR2. Very, very lightweight, very nimble, very maneuverable car. To be fair, one of the other vehicles I did quite like during the 90s was the. Granted, it's kind of cheating because no generation is ever really bland, but the 90s Corvettes are also very, very nice. The sort of the 80s and 90s Corvettes, when they started to become sort of more handling focused machines, very, very grippy. They became, you know, true high performance sports / supercars. And oh, those are very, very nice, especially the special editions, like the Grand Sport was such a cool car because it took inspiration from the sort of the delivery of the older Grand Sports of the C2 era, and it still had that, you know, that bright blue with the white stripe and the two red side stripes as well on the front fender. Those are really cool. And then you had the F-150 Lightnings of the 90s, which were so cool. The 80s and 90s had a lot of really cool performance trucks. Because you had the GMC Cyclone, the GMC Typhoon. You had the F-150 Lightning. I think Dodge had a high performance truck during that time period as well. Sort of as a precursor to, or sort of as, you know, one can consider the Ram SRT-10 sort of the spiritual successor to what it was in the 90s. What was it in the 90s? Oh, the Dodge Ram SST. Yes. There we go. Sorry, I was looking that up real quick. The Dodge Ram SST, which is another sort of high performance sporty package of a truck. Very, very nice. We would definitely split for choice in the 90s with regards to high performance trucks, which were really cool vehicles. All right, let's enter another race with our Mustang. We're slowly leveling it up. Ooh, the Sprinters Cup. Let's see. That's gonna be tricky. That's gonna be a little bit tricky. I don't think we'll have the best chance at winning that. American Car Limited race. We may be able to win some vehicles here. Other things we'll be racing against: the Firebird Trans Am, very nice, and the Shelby Cobra. All right, any chance to win a Cobra is a good enough chance in my book. Let's do it. I want to win the Cobra. Or the Trans Am. Both of them are very, very nice. We'll be starting right on pole with our Mustang. Considered one of the slower cars on the grid. Granted, there is no slow cars on this grid. A whole bunch of American muscle and high performance vehicles. Everything from the Viper to the Corvettes to the Cobras. Oh, and that Cobra got an amazing launch. It is now right behind us. Gotta watch ourselves with that Cobra. Make sure we don't get bit. Two high-performance Ford-powered vehicles right at the front of the pack. Make sure we race each other very cleanly as well. While that Viper is rapidly gaining, though, was trying to make a pass on the Cobra. I saw it just a little bit in the mirror going up the hill. Oh, that Viper is going to be very scary to deal with in about a lap or so. Because it's got all the power of the Cobra with plenty more grip. Very, very fast machine. Alright, easy. Gotta watch ourselves around these corners. Make sure we don't spin the rears too much. Very, very careful here. Slow the vehicle down, get it into the hairpin. Nice and easy. Keep it one gear higher than first, just so we don't get too much wheel spin on the exit. It's all about throttle control through this section. We're still up in the lead, which is very nice. The little lightweight Mustang is allowing us to outmaneuver some of the heavier American muscle cars on this track, which is good. Very, very nice. All right, power section, full speed ahead. Let's make sure we do not get crossed up on the chicane. All right. Oh gosh, I was trying to brake in a straight line and the car did not want to do that. The rear got light, the rear wanted to be in the front. The rear spun around. The rear was almost the front for just a little bit there, and then the car hit a wall. I'm gonna let the Viper have the inside line there. You were very, very close here. And we really need to gain on the Cobra. It's gonna be difficult on this section of the course because the Cobra's got that 427 big block V8 in it, and it is almost as light as, it's about as light as we are. It's the high performance Cobra with the big block, the side oiler V8. Alright, here we go. Alright, we need to get caught up with the Cobra. We can get caught up a little bit more through the twistier bits here, but we're going to need to find a good spot to pass it. Passing it's going to be very difficult, because while we may be faster than it on pure lap pace, you need a decent straightaway to, or at least a decent braking point after a straightaway to pass, and that Cobra is terrifying on the straights. Terrifyingly fast. So we definitely need to make sure we do not make any mistakes in order to gain time on that, and also to pull away just a little bit from the Viper. So that Viper is still occupying our rear view mirror just a little bit. I see that little bit of yellow as we go around the corners. The very, very bright, very brightly colored venomous snake. We are pinned between two venomous snakes right now. The Cobra and then the spiritual successor to the Cobra, the Viper. Both absolutely amazing vehicles that I'm super happy actually exist. There we go, much smoother through there. Much better, the car did not end up in the wall. Alright, we got one more lap. We're a little bit closer to the Cobra this time around, only 2 seconds back. Alright, little tap of the brakes, the car turned in through this corner. A little bit too fast through there. Trying to be a little bit too aggressive. Hit that corner just a tad as well. Didn't really gain a whole lot of time by doing it as also. That Cobra's pulling away just a little bit. The uphill, it's got, it made a mistake. Yes, that's what we capitalized on. Alright, it is right within striking distance now, that Cobra. We're in the Mustang. It's got well over 100 cubic inch engine displacement advantage. It's got lots of power, gobs of horsepower, plenty of grip as well for an old classic racing vehicle. We have just a slightly more controllable car with the lighter 289 cubic inch engine Mustang. Keep it in second gear through the tight hairpin. Very, very nice. Alright, let's go wide just a little bit so we can get a better launch onto the straight. Maybe we can get close enough to the Cobra. We're running out of road. Alright, we're able to catch up just a little bit more through the chicane. Alright, it's going to pull away just a little bit down this straight. We've got to watch ourselves under braking. Get the car set up just perfect. Oh dear. Nope, we got spun around by the Cobra. Okay. Very, very late braking. Locked out the brakes. That was very poor racecraft on my part. Yeah, the Cobra deserved that win. Very good. GG Cobra. Well done. Second place still isn't too bad. Managed to beat the other venomous snake. Very, very nice. Let's see if we're able to win anything. We got two Very, very nice classic American cars to potentially win here. Are you kidding me? Bruh. Bruh. I'm a little bit upset about that. Two really, really nice cars we could have won. Nope. The game was punishing us over that boneheaded move on the final straight. I can't blame it. That is a very, very reasonable penalty. So, okay, game. Well done. GG. Alright, our ranking has increased. That's very good. Let's enter another race. Let's see. Hopefully we can win another car. I'd love to win yet another vehicle. Our Mustang is slowly getting towards its max level before we then choose a very, very nice sporty car to race. Ooh, the Thanksgiving race. 7.9. 5-lap race around Pacific Gateway. We can win lots of points here. Only 3. That Nismo Skyline and the Nissan Z, I think, are the only 2 vehicles that can really challenge us, because this course, we can definitely outperform our vehicle on this course. So let's do that. And a very, very nice dark red Mustang. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the color that we picked out for this, with the racing stripe down the side. It's you know, it's sporty, it's aggressive, but it's still just a little bit refined as well. That perfect blend of, you know, maturity, but performance. Looks gorgeous. Alright, we got a good start right now. No one's really. Alright, we got that Nismo Skyline behind us. That's gonna be very difficult because that's about 400-ish, 420-ish horsepower, give or take. Very fast, 4-wheel drive, lots of grip, modern performance upgrades, all the Nismo upgrades, Nismo aero kits, Nismo suspension tunes. Very, very soft, very grippy, high-performance tires, high-performance braking package. It's got everything. It is basically a, you know, high-performance tuning vehicle that has been tuned by the factory, and it is rapid around this course. I mean, it's rapid around most courses. It's one of the faster vehicles in the game, and definitely one of the more controllable vehicles as well in the top-tier performance. And that 350Z with the VQ engine is also just in front of us. I think we could probably do battle decently enough with the Z. Have shades of the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift with the Z versus the Mustang through the twisties. That Z is very quick on the curves. We can probably gain some time back on it on the straight just a little bit. Yeah, we can probably duel with the Z for a little bit. Nope. Keep it smooth through the chicane. The car wants to get very unsettled on the heavy braking there. Alright, get the car nice and turned in. Alright, back on the throttle. A little tap on the wall there. Use the power now to pull away from the Jaguar behind us. That Jaguar does have a very, very high performance supercharged V8 engine in it. Yes, I think it's a Jaguar. It's hard to tell in the rear view mirror. Come on, we need to at least keep touch with the Z in case they make a mistake. Yeah, that is. No, that's the Delta. Okay, that's. Is it the Delta? It is so hard to tell. I can barely see it in the mirror. I can barely make it out. Oh, I can only kind of see a whitish gray, boxy vehicle. And I'm not gonna let it pass to test what vehicle it is. I think that actually is the Lancia Delta, which is high performance, four-wheel drive, street version of a rally car. It's either the Jag or the Delta, and I can't tell. It's got the sort of the front, the very prominent grille. It is a Jag. Okay. No, please bugger off, Jaguar. Come on. It was built during a time that Ford owned Jaguar. Think of it as a stable mate. You don't want to hurt your stable mate. Let me at least get a good third place position. You know, you didn't see the two Nissans fighting. Let's not fight here. Let's back off just a tad, please. If the car can stop heavily turning to the left under heavy braking. This vehicle is very, very squirrely under heavy braking. And while it's good for the sweeper corners like this, we can kind of slide the car through them and get that sharp turning without understeering off into the distance. It does make chicanes and other very, very slight corners much more treacherous, trying to stop for them. Especially because normally we use that chicane, that bus stop chicane, to really gain a lot of time on the AI. But if we have issues, if we get crossed up through there, that's not good for our lap time, and that is not good for getting ahead of the rest of the pack. So even with third, we'll get a decent chance to win some very, very nice vehicles, and also plenty of points to improve our ranking. And the ranking allows us to enter other very, very high difficulty events, which gives us even more points. Alright, nice and easy, nice and smooth through here. Alright, into the hairpin. Alright, we're getting through it nice and gently. The Mustang is surprisingly well behaved on this twister section here. I was definitely expecting it to be much more of a handful. But on longer, more sweeping corners, it's actually not that bad. It's more so the tight, like left-right or right-left corners where the car gets really unsettled and it just doesn't wanna behave. And I'm trying very, very hard, trying to figure out the best way to attack this. So I can't. I keep trying to brake earlier and earlier, and steer less and less. But you get to a point where, like, it's just you can't brake down the entire straight. It's just this car does not like chicanes. Doesn't like too many corners anyway. Granted, still a lot of absolute blast to drive. I'm loving the high power, the high torque of the V8 coming out of the corners. And it can definitely be more of a handful to drive if it wanted to. So in most sections it's not too bad. Alright, gently around the bus stop. Don't want to get it crossed up too much with the elevation change as well. Alright, now down the hill. Very, very wide, very sweeping corner here. Down in the third gear. Into the twisty bits now. Through the suburb section of the course. We gotta watch ourselves though, because if we have too many collisions with the wall, we won't be able to upgrade our vehicle. And I do want to upgrade this vehicle so that we're able to gradually at least upgrade. I want to get every vehicle in the game up to level 10. That is the one. That is goal number one of this playthrough, and that is going to take a little while, but it means I get to gush over every vehicle in the game. It's fun right now. I'm gushing over the Mustang GT, the creation of the pony cars, and all the rivals of the Mustang as well, both the Mopar rivals and the GM rivals. All absolutely nice. Then you had the Mercury Cougar as well, the stablemate, the more luxurious Mustang, but very, very nice vehicle as well. Alright, come on. Braking very early here. Okay, you just have to brake incredibly early and in a straight line to get it not crossed up. Okay, I can do that. That's fine. You have to brake just before the uphill section with this vehicle, which is super early. But if you try to trail brake into that corner, the car throws a fit. Other vehicles wouldn't quite do that, but this one does get very, very unhappy with you if you try to trail brake into that chicane. Alright, come on, we need to pull away from the Jaguar. Nice and smooth through the bus stop. There we go, now on the downhill section. Let's go. Final lap, let's make sure we stay ahead of the Jaguar. Do the twisty bits through the suburban section for the last time this race. Down in the second gear. Get some power out of that corner, but not too much. Gotta watch yourselves. Nice and smooth, nice and gentle through here. Alright, we've managed to pull just a little bit away from the Jag. Alright. Back into the urban section. Onto the back straight. Get a lot of speed on here. Alright, be nice to me. Alright, brake here. Alright, back to the chicane. Yeah, you just have to brake very early in order to keep the car nice and stable through the chicane. Because otherwise, it'll throw you all around. Very nice, there we go. Alright, third place. That is more than respectable. Let's see if we got any points at all to upgrade our vehicle. We got plenty of points to upgrade our ranking. Alright, Sylvia or Fair Lady? Sylvia or Z? Really, game? Bruh. Okay. The game is being very mean to us. The game is deciding, no, you're not getting any cars. You want these cool cars? Sorry, too bad. Whoops. So, plenty of points. That is a very, very nice amount. Our ranking number is increased even further. Ranking number is increased by 9. Alright, let's see what we can enter. It was a fairly low points race that we're going to be... Japan Grand Prix. 7.1. Ooh, that's not bad. Tsukuba is not the best circuit for us. American Supercar meeting. Let's see what we have here, what we can win. The potential to win the Shelby Cobra. Maybe. Good on touring car race. Let's see what else we have. Water Mountain Challenge. Provincial Challenge. American Supercar meeting. Oh, we haven't raced on here yet. Naturally aspirated limited race. Route de la Seine. Seine, I think? Yeah. Street circuit, French street circuit. Very, very narrow, very twisty. I haven't raced on this in a very long time, this track. Mostly because this track is very difficult for me. This is a track that I'm not great at. Come on, let's pull away from the rest of the pack. Big acceleration. Use that grunt of the V8. Alright, into the first corner, very nice. Into the first chicane, first S-curves. Alright, now to a very, very tricky corner complex. It's basically the loop. The very, very higher speed loop. You gotta be very, very gentle because the car, you go uphill, then you go downhill. It does upset the car just a little bit, and it does affect the nature of the vehicle. It wants to oversteer going downhill, wants to understeer a bit going uphill. I cannot brake as fast as that Audi. And as you can see here, the track itself is very narrow. A lot of very tight, very technical corners. Not a lot of very good passing places. So it's one of those, you want to get an early lead on the main straight and then hold that lead for as long as possible with minimal mistakes, which just makes it very, very annoying to race on. Still, it's a very, very pretty circuit. It's very, very nice. You get to see, you know, all the French buildings and everything, all the beautiful architecture. It does look quite nice. Yeah, you're right. You're right by the Arc de Triomphe. And then you go into the main straight, one of the main roads, very, very wide. One of the few spots you can really kind of overtake. But that Audi's got that all-wheel drive, and it does have quite a bit of power as well. I gotta watch ourselves going into the... There we go. Use a little bit of absolute drift skill there. Making sure the car does not hit the wall on turn-in. Alright, and then we kind of need to gently baby the car around the loop. The loop's the trickiest part of the course. Come on, nice and easy. There we go. We managed to gain a little bit of time on the Audi through that corner complex there. Audi is going to gain a little bit of time on us, though, through this straightaway. Very, very quick, very rapid on the straights, that Audi. We know because we drove it the previous stream. Very high performance, high power. Alright, nice and easy into the hairpin. Pretty much the only other potential passing point in the course. The rest of the time, the track is just too narrow to try to make an overtake. Alright, the roads get tight again as we approach the arc. Alright, around the hairpin. Make sure we get a good launch. It's a very early apex corner because we have so much room to run wide on the exit. Alright, that's a little bit better lap time. We're still roughly 5 seconds behind the Audi. Oh, ran a little bit too wide on that corner that time. I was too worried about turning in too early the previous time that I did the exact opposite this time around. Whoopsie daisies. This car, gentle on the loop, be very gentle on the loop. Gotta watch the transition from uphill to downhill, because it does get the car just a little bit unstable. There we go. Alright, through the chicane, very tight, very technical, very, very low speed corner complex. Down in the second gear, through the hairpin again. Oh dear. Got a little bit too greedy with the throttle. Almost spun it. Gotta watch that. Gotta be very, very careful with that. We may have to settle for second place. Still, granted, it's a very, very good second place. We'll still get a decent amount of points from that second place finish. But it'd be nice to go into a race and win one again. We had a couple wins in early stream. Let's try to get another win after this. There we go. Decent second place though. Thing is, with the way the game allocates points, oftentimes it's better to get second place in a very, very difficult race than first place in a much easier race. Let's see if we can win the Seville. Please. Okay, at least gave us a Seville. Yay, thank you, game. Very, very nice. Very high displacement V8 engine with 300 horsepower. Oh, good. We managed to level up the car as well. More tuning upgrades. There we go. Very nice. Ranking number has been maintained at 14. Kind of figured. That's okay. All right. Let's see what races we have available to us now. Alright, so it's one more level to go. One more level until Speediopolis rank. Yeah, there's no way we can really be competitive there. Low-end steering challenge. Let's see what we have available to us. Well, let's try to win the Cobra. Let's try to win the Cobra. We can see we got a chance. We got a 50-50 chance of whether or not we win the Cobra. And it is on low-end steering, one of my favorite courses in the game, just because it has pretty much every type of corner imaginable. And it's, you know, an actual, well, it's not a real life racetrack, but it's, you know, it feels like a racetrack instead of just a street circuit. It's one thing I do wish. I wish the game had more, like, either fictional or real life racing circuits. That's where the handling physics really shine with the game. It's not necessarily on the street circuits, but on more so, like, you know, proper racing circuits. It feels really good to drive the cars on them. Everything from the Nordschleife to Tsukuba to low-end steering. A bit less so in Speediopolis, just because it is, you know, with the game that focuses on, you know, beating cars that are much faster than you, there isn't much you can do on an oval to beat cars that are faster than you. Whereas on a you know, a more I'm sorry, I had a tickle in the back of my throat there. But on a more technical course, there's a lot more you can do. It's a lot more driver dependent. There's a lot more you can exploit of the AI. Whereas on an oval, it's basically more or less it is the fastest car wins in most situations, provided, you know, nothing like driver error or reliability issues. But when the game doesn't have reliability at all, and the AI, well, not necessarily fast, don't make any driver errors, it basically becomes fastest car wins on the Speediopolis ring, which is why I do tend to avoid racing on that one, unless I have a particular vehicle where it doesn't handle all that great, but it's very, very fast in a straight line, usually like a higher powered but kind of sluggish handling sedan. Otherwise, I do try to avoid races on the Speediopolis ring. But low-end steering though, low-end steering's a lot of fun. A lot of high speed, a lot of low speed corners, a lot of different corner complexes that really kind of test your vehicle handling abilities. Elevation change. Like, they did a really, really good job creating this course. Alright, that Evo is right behind us. That Mitsubishi. All-wheel drive, low inline four-cylinder 4G63 engine. It is going to blow by us on a straight. It does have a bit more power than us. But as long as we can keep within striking distance, we can probably beat it on some of these corners. Like it did hit the brakes through backwards Radeon. Granted, it's a corner that you can't really pass on, which is annoying. Alright, we're at our top speed. The Evo is still within striking distance, very, very nice. And the AI does not use its full speed or the full grip on the banked corners, because it treats it basically as a flat. It goes about as fast as you would on a sort of a flatter corner. As you can see by the sheer amount of ground we gained on the Evo through that section. Alright, let's get back up with it. Come on, we gotta make sure we get this Mustang right up there at the front. And that Evo is also very quick though, with the four-wheel drive system, with its power. Alright, come on, nice and easy, nice and easy. Into the hairpin. Get it down to second gear. We're right within striking distance, but I don't think we're able to beat it. It's gonna be close. Alright, easy, easy. Through the sweeper. Gotta carry as much speed as we can through it, but not too much speed. I only got a few corners left. We do know it does brake on the backwards Radeon. So they basically took the one corner from Spa and flipped it, mirrored it. But it is still very, very fun to drive through. Alright, we're on the tail of the lion now. Very, very, it's a increasing radius corner that becomes a decreasing radius corner. Especially as you go up the hill, your vehicle is very prone to understeering. Get just a little bit of grass. Ooh, easy. Carry as much speed as we can through that corner complex. Still not going to be enough, though. Ah, it's unfortunate. We're still balancing out the revometer as we're going across the finish line. Alright, let's see if we're able to win that Cobra. Come on, we've tried a couple of different races to win the Cobra. Is the game going to let us have a Cobra? Cobra, 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 Cobra. Come on. Yes! Finally! It took so many tries to win the Cobra. Oh, boy. Oh, we didn't quite level up the vehicle to level 10, so one more race. Alright, let's see. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, our rankings decreased just a little bit there. That's okay. Let's see now what we're able to... Europe Grand Prix. 6.4. We actually have a decent chance to be competitive against this field. Granted, we literally just did a race on low end steering. American Car Limited race. Granted, we did a couple races on Pacific Gateway as well. Over 4-liter race on Victoria Road. Why not? Let's do it. This one's gonna be just a little bit tricky. Alright, we got this. Two, one, let's roll. You gotta watch yourselves. Nice and easy through this corner complex. It's very flat through here though, which is good. Not likely to be causing any vehicle issues. It's this section here that gets a little bit bumpy, gets the car just a little bit crossed up, especially as we approach this sharp left-hander here. It's a blind corner over the bump. Very easy to get spun around there. Alright, into the roundabout. Slowly add more throttle as we exit the corner. Back up onto the bridge, very bumpy, very easy to get the car. Very, very easy to get the car all messed up through here. I gotta watch ourselves through the tunnel. Very gentle with the throttle. Don't want to understeer or oversteer. And then this bridge really upsets the car. Start braking right as we get to the crest. Even then the car gets very sideways. Alright, now we're racing through the actual city part of London. Very, very, very tight, especially through this archway section. Didn't quite get that correct. The track will go wide and narrow. Very, very, very large amounts of track width change. Alright, first lap is done. First lap is complete. It's going to be a little bit of a longer race. 8 minutes. That's okay. We're actually doing very, very well. Keeping our car at the front of the pack. We're definitely outperforming the competition. We're definitely out-driving our vehicle. What the game thinks our vehicle should be. Being very... But the car itself is also being very polite. Our old Mustang here. Being very polite as we're going through the course. It's not getting too crossed up, even on the bumps. Alright, nice and easy. Get the car turned in. Back again to the left, through the tunnel. And be very gentle with the throttle. Make sure we do not understeer into the wall. Alright, we want to brake just a little bit earlier this time, before the crest. Keep the car nice and planted. Do not want the car to get airborne, because the car does not have good enough brakes to brake after the car goes airborne. I'm going to watch a really, really tight corner here. Very late apex. There we go. Much better quarter entry. Much better going through that corner. Got that C3 Corvette Stingray behind us. Very, very nice. But it is not quite fast enough to catch up with us. I'm surprised one of the more modern vehicles isn't hounding us. I'm genuinely shocked because some of those are very, very well behaved over the bumps, and this course is a very bumpy circuit. Lot of undulations, a lot of elevation changes, lots of places that can really upset your vehicle. Alright, easy. Get the car turned in over the dip. Alright, now into the roundabout. On the second gear. Very, very nice. There we go. Over the bridge, keep it smooth. No issues through here. There we go, very clean lap so far. No contact with the walls. Alright, watch yourselves, late apex going into the archway turn. Very narrow, then it gets very wide. Early apex as we go into the wider section. Oh, not quite a clean lap. We did have an off-course excursion there. That's unfortunate. Come on, I think the game should have an IndyCar or a NASCAR approach to track limits. If it's not dirt, it's part of the track. But yeah, no, we did have a bit of an off-course excursion there. We went up onto the curbing, past the white lines that signify the outsides of the track. All right, nice and easy, nice and easy. This could be the final race of our Mustang. Let's make sure it's a good one, a good victory right at the end. Send the Mustang off with a bang, and then we get to choose our sporty car that we'll be racing in next. Alright, nice and easy through here. Nice and easy. Alright. Halfway through this lap. A little bit less than halfway through, actually. Getting close to the end. Alright, archway. Under the archway for the final time. A little tap on the wall for good memories. A little bit of an off-course excursion there. It's unfortunate. That's fine. We still have enough points to level up our vehicle. There we go. Across the line. Yes. Very nice. Very, very nice. Let's see if we're able to win a Mustang with the Mustang. We are. Yes. The Mach 1 Mustang for the 4th generation. Very, very nice. Very beautiful. With the racing stripes. Very, very smooth. Very aerodynamic looking. Very, very nice amount of horsepower as well. Alright. We've leveled up ourselves. Granted, past a certain level, the Enthusia points don't really matter. If we've leveled up our car as well, our car is now at its max performance. And we've gotten plenty of points. Alright. Let us now swap it for a new car in the sporty category. Alright, let's change the vehicle. In the sporty category, let's see what we have. Alright, and we've got everything from the Honda Beat, which is going to be number 1. And then we have the Integra Type R, which is going to be number 5, and everything else is going to be in between. So let us get that up. All right, Min 1 Max 5. Let us generate 3. Okay, that is going to be the little Morris Mini Cooper. This little one. 76 horsepower, 600 some kilograms, front wheel drive, very lightweight, little itty bitty British touring and rally car. Very, very, very prevalent in a lot of rally races. Old English white, tweed gray, smoke gray, island blue, almond green. We got, okay, it's a British car. It's a classic British car. It has to be in green. It's gotta be, even if it's not quote unquote British racing green, it still needs to be in green. And there we have it. We have our beautiful little Morris Mini. Our little Morris Mini Cooper. Such a cute little car. Let's adjust some settings on it, get it nice and tuned up. Let's lower it just a tad. stiffen it up just a little bit. Set it a little bit towards acceleration. Give it just a little bit of front lock. There we go. Very nice. All right, let's join a race. Let's see what we can do in our Mini. A good old touring car race. We also have the Mirage Rally. What are we going to be up against? A Nismo Silvia. Bruh, game. Are you 28.8? We have zero chance to be able to win this one. Not even close. No. Maybe? We maybe have a chance? There is a lot of vehicles that we can win here. It's gonna be a little bit tricky. But YOLO. First race in the Mini, let's just do it around the Nürburgring. We can win a couple of, maybe we have a chance to win a possibility of winning a very, very nice batch of classic cars. Or a selection from a very, very nice batch of cars, I should say. Or the game will probably give us nothing. Okay, a lot of wheel spin. I gotta remember it's front wheel drive, so as you accelerate, it takes weight off of the drive wheels. Okay, that's very aggressive driving from that, very, very aggressive driving from that car there. Come on, I gotta get past the S800. I need to finish at least 4th. Come on. That's gonna be tricky though. Because, oh gosh, the Mini doesn't want to turn. The Mini is still very understeery. Come on, we need to get back up with the rest of the pack. We're fighting, and we are losing that fight. This Mini does not have the straight line speed. Oh gosh, we're not even gonna reach 100 miles an hour. Okay, we just barely reach 100 miles an hour before we top out at a max speed. This was a mistake. This was a big mistake. We've made a huge mistake. All right, let's try for 4th. We got the S800 in front of us. Okay, the S800 is faster than us on the straight. Everything is faster than us on the straight. We are going to die on the 1.3 mile straight. Everything is going to kill us. It doesn't want to turn. I think this may be a lost cause. I think this may be. I think we need to go back to the drawing board in terms of vehicle settings. That was a very, very big mistake. We need to adjust the vehicle more so towards yeah, our ranking decreased by quite a bit. I get that. Yes, game. Yeah. All right, let's go back to the garage. Let's go back to the settings. Vehicle is still very. Let's dial back the limited slip. Let's put it towards a high gear ratio. There we go. That should be a bit better, hopefully. All right, let's join a race. Let's see what we can do in our little Mini. New Year's Cup. 14.5. Game. Granted, it's a very lightweight car. It's a very, very tight, twisty track. We may have a shot. It's going to be a long shot, but we may have a shot to finish 4th. Granted, this is also a very lightweight car that does not want to turn, no matter what you do with it. Very, very understeery, even for a front-wheel drive car. And immediately before the first corner, we are already down in last place. Oh boy. We have our work cut out for us. Alright, set up straight. Let's buckle down. Let's see if we can't get a points playing position here. Because even if we get 4th, that is still a massive amount of points for us. We're going to get absolutely dominated on this straightaway, though. Yeah, everyone's pulling away. Nope. Okay. Yeah, this car cannot really punch above its weight class like other cars can. That's... Ah, boy. This is tricky. This is very tricky. Granted, we also entered a race where the odds were, you know, 14 point something to 1. It was not going to end up well for us. But I saw the number of points. I saw it's a track I really enjoy. Alright, let's see what options we have. But the Dragon Challenge. Mini versus Mini. One make duel. We can do that. We can definitely do that. Mini versus Mini on a Toge. Gotta watch the wheels spinning on starts. Even in bits and bytes. How you doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. Right now, we just got done we drag racing minis now. Yeah, we're doing a bunch of Toge racing. Right now, we're in we're in the old Morris Mini Cooper. For a lightweight vehicle, it has a lot of understeer. Despite even with it being front-wheel drive, it's got a lot of understeer for a front-wheel drive car. Beforehand, we were racing the classic 66 Mustang GT, another classic vehicle that was used in touring car racing. So we're basically racing a whole bunch of touring cars this stream. We even at one point unlocked the BMW CSL Group 5 touring car, the Batmobile, as it was called in touring car racing at the time, due to its very aggressive aerodynamics and very tall rear wing. Hey, watch yourself. We're trying to get through these very tight, very twisty sections. We're getting rear-ended by the other Mini. The world's slowest Toge race. Granted, the Mini itself is a very nice car. One of the first sort of front-wheel drive racing vehicles, used a lot in touring car competition, especially in the under 1 liter, or initially in the under 1 liter class. But they also had the under 1600 cc class as well, that it was very common in, with the 1.2 liter Morris Mini Cooper. It was also very successful in rally racing, due to the fact that the front-wheel drive system was very durable, and also very good on the snow. It won a lot of times in like the Monte Carlo rally, and also in the Swedish rally as well, due to it being able to be very stable in very slippery conditions compared to its other vehicles it would be racing against. Very nice car. But against more modern machinery, it definitely doesn't quite stack up. Had a buddy that drove around a Mini. Not a lot of legroom in these. Yeah, no, close to where I live, up in Rock State Park in Maryland. I kind of looked though. Oh yeah, the mini is definitely one of the most, like, most people you show them a mini, I'm sure, even if they aren't into cars, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's a Mini Cooper. It's a very, very iconic look. And of course we have ours in a semi-British racing green. At the very least, it is a green on a British car. It is, you know, very, very nice. And these minis, a lot of British cars, a lot of British sporty vehicles are very, very small, very lightweight. And part of that is due to post-war material scarcities, post-World War II material scarcities. So they kind of had to make fast vehicles with very, very, very without a whole lot of components. And so with that, the best way to make a fast car that doesn't have a whole lot of stuff is just to make a very, very lightweight car. And also post-war, a lot of European countries introduced what's known as a road tax, where the less fuel efficient your vehicle, the more you paid in tax. And so basically, in order to get a sporty vehicle in Europe that's affordable to the masses, oftentimes you just have a very, very lightweight car with a moderately powerful engine put into it. And that's sort of that's kind of how those became very, very popular. Whereas the states didn't necessarily have that too much, so we were able to build the very big, very, very powerful V8 muscle cars. But back to what I was back to the story. So in Rock State Park, close to where I live, a little bit north of where I live, there's an event each year in the fall called MGs on the Rocks, and it's hosted by the Baltimore MG Club. And basically, it is you feel this grass lot, and it's absolutely filled with all of these classic and modern British cars. Everything from, you know, Lotus Elises, and one time someone even brought their V8 Lotus Esprit from the early 2000s. It was super cool. And you have the very, very lightweight. Also, you have the very lightweight, you know, your little minis, your little MGs, your little Triumph Spitfires. And oh, it is all so nice. Such cool cars. And I like to make sure I go every year. It's a very, very fun event. It's much smaller. It's only about 100-ish vehicles or so, depending on the weather. But it's, you know, it's good to go for, like, you know, an afternoon and everything. Get to see all the cars, get to talk to other people. Alright, we're on Tsukuba Circuit. Reverse on Tsukuba Circuit, which technically isn't really possible in real life due to FIA track homologation. The only track in real life that is FIA certified to be run both forwards and backwards is the Knockhill Circuit in Scotland. That is the only track that can be run both forwards and backwards, and I believe the British Touring Car Championship races it both ways during the season. And Knockhill is a very, very short, very bumpy, very technical track. Very good for racing touring cars. Very nice track. But yeah, that is the only track in real life that can be raced forwards and backwards. Tsukuba, while I probably could, under most circumstances, I don't see too much issue. There are regulations for which direction to race in. So yes and no. In racetrack design, you have to design proper runoffs, which basically, if a car, you know, goes off course, they don't hit directly into a wall. And oftentimes you design runoffs with a certain direction in mind. For example, if you look at a top-down view of, like, Silverstone circuits, you can kind of see which direction the vehicles are running. Because if you look at some of the tight corners and the tight hairpins, you'll see, okay, if you approach it this way, you know, if you run off, you'll just run off into a bunch of tarmac, and you'll be in a quote-unquote parking lot, but you won't hit anything. But if you run it the reverse way, if you run off, you'll be head first into a wall. So certain tracks, for safety reasons, can only be run a certain way. I think Tsukuba, with the way it is, it would need a lot more runoff on this tight hairpin here to be able to be safely run in reverse. That is the big issue, because you're approaching it from a much higher speed this way than you are from the normal way. But yeah, the only track that I know of that can be run both forwards and reverse, that is, you know, certified by the FIA, is the Knockhill circuit in Scotland. There are a lot of tracks. So FIA certification as well. It's you have different grades. So FIA grade 1, that is like, you know, the creme de la creme, you know, the very, very safe tracks that can host a lot of people safely as well. A lot of very, very high quality facilities. And those are the tracks, only grade 1 tracks can host Formula 1 races, because the FIA has deemed it pretty much unsafe for you know, use. Any FIA grade 2, a grade 2 or lower track can't be used in Formula 1 races, because it's just not safe for those cars at those speeds. That's what they deem. Or they have another issue where, like, the track can't reasonably host an event as large as Formula 1. For example, Autopolis is an FIA grade 2 track. Autopolis is a track in Japan. That's one of the places where they really hold a lot of, like, the Formula Drift events. And they do race their regional Formula open wheel series there, which is known as Super Formula, as well as the regional Grand Touring race there, which is Super GT. And Autopolis was initially designed to be potentially be a FIA grade 1 track, you know, and it kind of shows it in its design. Lots of runoff, you know, very, very wide as well, lots of places for overtaking. But the big issue that's preventing it from being an FIA grade 1 track is the fact that it's kind of situated up in the mountains, away from a lot of civilization. So it's very, very difficult for people to go there and to host all of those teams up there for multiple day weekend. Because there isn't a whole lot of amenities up there. And that's just one issue with the FIA grade 1s. I think also one of the other things that requires a track to be FIA grade 1 certified is it needs to be within a certain distance of certain distance or a certain amount of time, either flight time or driving time, to a hospital that can reasonably staff a neurosurgical team there. Just in case of an accident, if a driver gets into a bad accident, they have the best possible chance of survival with, you know, any traumatic brain injuries that could occur. That's why, especially certain tracks like the Red Bull Ring, they're more likely to postpone or cancel races in heavy rain or fog, because there it's a bit more further away from civilization. It is much more difficult to fly drivers out, especially in fog. It is an interesting regulation. And then there's the track has to be within a certain length as well. It's got to be, I think, it's got to be longer. It's got to be like shorter than like 4.5 kilometers and longer than 2 kilometers. Longer than. Sorry. I'm thinking miles. What is it? There's a certain length of track as well. It can't be too long or too short. Because that also affects the FIA rating as well. Which there's only 2 technical exceptions, both of them due to the fact that the tracks themselves are historical tracks. On the calendar, on the F1 calendar, that aren't within that threshold. The one that's too short is the Monaco Grand Prix circuit, and the one that's too long is the Spa circuit. But both of them just barely so. But they both need to be within a certain all the tracks need to be within a certain length. They all need to be they need to have a certain width as well. I think it's 16 meters wide for the track to be considered FAA grade 1. Now, there's a whole bunch of like technical regulations for how to design a track. Hang on a sec. Let me pull something up real quick. FIA grade 1 track length. I want to actually see what the length. Okay, hang on. Length. Oops. Alright, hang on. Maximum permitted length for a straight section of the track is 2 kilometers for the circuit itself. No new circuit should exceed 7 kilometers or be... Yeah. So no new circuit should exceed 7 kilometers. But Spa circuit is 7.004 kilometers long. And then the Monaco circuit, it also needs to be longer than 3.5 kilometers. But the Monaco Grand Prix circuit is 3.34 kilometers long. So with that, it makes it, both of them just barely missed out on that. Yeah, the cars have a massive rulebook as well, but the tracks, whereas the cars are more so that way to ensure, somewhat close competition, or at the very least to make sure one team doesn't dominate too much. Granted, you can debate all day as to how well the FIA do at preventing team domination. The tracks more so is a lot more agreed upon between teams. More so because it's more of a driver and fan safety issue that allows it's something that's more or less unanimous amongst most teams, or at least there's very minimal pushback. Whereas whenever there's a new technical directive amongst technical regulations for the vehicles, all the teams always have their own 2 cents to add, their own input. So it does make things just a little bit it's a lot more politicking with regards to the technical regulations of the cars versus the technical regulations of the circuits. Alright, the old rally car race. Okay. I don't think we have a good chance of that one. Let's see what else we have. We have the English sports car meeting. We have a better shot with the old rally car race. What else do we have here? The front wheel drive limited race. Naturally aspirated limited race. There is not a whole lot of different races that we can enter and be competitive in with a little mini. May as well try the old rally car race. Yeah, we might be able to hold our own against some of the competition. Granted, one of the drivers is in a mid to late 90s Toyota Celica, which is a very, very fast vehicle, very, very rapid, four-wheel drive, whereas we only have front-wheel drive. Alright, come on, let's make sure we get a best possible start and try to hold our own. Whole bunch of vehicles that were all used in classic rally, including that Lancia 037 there, was used quite frequently, especially in the early stages of Group B rallying. Built somewhat based off of the Lancia Monte Carlo, but the engine layout was changed just a little bit from transversely mounted inline 4 to longitudinally mounted inline 4. And both of them are rapidly leaving us in the dust. We got the Nissan 240Z behind us. That car was used more so by privateer teams in a lot of rally racing, especially in the longer, higher speed more durability-focused races like the Kenya Rally and the Safari Rally. All right, nice and easy here. Let's try to keep up with the top group. The nimbleness of the Mini should allow us some decent amounts of performance as we go through the suburb section. Do you go to any live races? I try to. It is a bit difficult as a Marylander, just because there aren't a whole lot of racetracks nearby me. Basically, there's a drag strip that's a bit to the north of me. It's about an hour to the north of me, up in northern Maryland. And then there's 2 dirt ovals, one to the southeast of me that's about 2 hours away, and one to the northwest of me that's about 2 hours away. So really, if I do go to any live races, it is a fairly long trip. And then Dover's about 2 hours, about an hour and 40 minutes away as well. So there isn't a whole lot I can go to, but I do try to at least go to one sort of more major event each year, even if it's not a live race. If it's some other big automotive themed event like the Cruisin' OC car show or something like that, I do try to take myself to at least one big event each year. This year I'm planning on heading up to yeah, there aren't a whole lot of choices, even like in the grassroots, even in the grassroots level close to me, unfortunately. But this year I am going to a live event. I'm gonna be going up to the provided you know health is good and everything and all that stuff, and you know no big issues with work, because sometimes work can get hectic at times. I do have plans to go to the American Motorcycle Association Moto America race up at Pittsburgh International Raceway. Watch the doubleheader there, mainly because it also allowed me to get caught up with some of my old roommates that I had during college. So a lot of them live up in the Pittsburgh area. So I definitely. I'm planning on doing that in August, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. So that's gonna be the big one this year. I do eventually want to catch a race, either the Indy Grand Prix or if they keep the IMSA races. I do want to catch one race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, more so the road course than the oval course. And I would love to see that. And then of course the big bucket list item is the 24 Hours of Daytona. That I am going to be watching, at least on and off, live when it happens, like live on stream. Not like I won't be streaming it, but I will be like watching other streams of it. And that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that with the new LMDH cars. That's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, there isn't a whole lot of options nearby. But I do try to support my local racetracks as well. Probably sometime in the summer I will be taking some family up to the one in Mechanicsville to watch some dirt track racing there, because I also love me some dirt track racing. It's a lot of fun. Oh, speaking of dirt track racing, have you seen any of the Chili Bowl? It's an indoor dirt oval track race where they race in the convention center. And it's, you know, massive like knockout tournament with a whole bunch, you know, sprint cars and everything. Chili Bowl. Yeah. So hang on, let me actually pull that up. I'm gonna pull that up. I'm gonna show that on stream. the Chili Bowl Nationals, and it's inside. It's inside, and they're racing these little sprint cars. All right, powered by an inline 4-cylinder engine, single gear transmission, and they're racing around this dirt track inside this auditorium. Obviously, they have the windows and everything open so they can get proper ventilation, and it's this massive. Oh, that's a itty bitty dirt track. But it's this massive elimination style event where basically the top drivers of each heat can continue moving on until there's basically a final heat of the best drivers that they've eliminated down. And oh, it's basically the Super Bowl of dirt track racing is what it's been called. And I've been watching that quite a bit, watching highlights and everything, and watching some of the races. It's very short sprints. It's only like, you know, the 10 to 20 laps are on these very quick, very slippery dirt ovals. So the races go by, you know, within like 10-20 minutes. But it's a whole bunch of races. But oh, it is so cool. Granted, there was a bit of issue though. One driver. There was a pretty bad, a really bad accident that happened at the Chili Bowl this time. Looks like they should be tossing bananas and shells at each other. Oh, you say that, but these cars, you know, they are very fast, very rapid. And if you haven't seen any sprint car racing, I'm not sure if you're in the States or not. I know sprint car racing is very popular in the States, and it's also very popular in Australia as well. I'm not sure where else in the world they do it. But if you ever get the chance, I do recommend watching some of those as well, because basically they are sideways the entire way around the track. And oh my word, it is so cool. It is so nice. And they're very fast. But there was an accident that happened where one driver got caught up in the wall. The car, it had a pretty heavy flip, a lot of flipping, and the driver got partially ejected from the vehicle, even with the safety harness. And he had to get airlifted to the hospital. From what I hear, I'm gonna double check to make sure I don't end up eating my words. From what I hear there, yeah, it's Ashton Torgerson. It was one of his first dirt car races. And okay, yeah, he's doing decent enough. He just had a CT scan, a little bit of blood in the brain, so they're still monitoring him. But otherwise, you know, he's awake, he's moving around and everything. And surprisingly, no broken bones, which is really good for, especially because sprint car racing is, in comparison to other forms of racing, sprint car racing is a little bit dangerous. I will give that warning out. Sprint car racing can be very dangerous. Probably one of the more dangerous types of motor racing out there. Just due to the lack of grip on the track, the more open frame chassis without really a whole lot of safety cells. It's basically a tube frame, and the high speeds that they reach. It is a little bit dangerous. And I do hope that they're able to kind of improve track safety and kind of learn from this as well. But you know, dirt track racing is super cool to watch, because they're always sliding on the corners. It's a really short oval, so you can see the entire track from the grandstands. And even if you don't watch sprint car racing, there's other forms of dirt track racing, such as you have late models, which is sort of more akin to like NASCAR stock cars, or like sort of if you'd asked a child to draw what a NASCAR stock car looked like, you know, it's sort of a very kind of sleek, kind of smoothish shell around a tube frame chassis, and that's racing on the track. And then you have also a modified, which could roughly be considered sort of a hybrid between a sprint car and a late model, where it is sort of, you know, an enclosed body and enclosed, you know, you know, it does have body panels on it. It's not just, you know, a tube frame with, you know, most of the stuff kind of exposed. It is, you know, proper enclosed body car. But also, but it is still open wheel, and it is super cool. But yeah, dirt track racing is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to participate in. I've done some. Granted, I haven't done real life dirt track racing, but I have virtual dirt track racing. I have done a decent amount of. It's a first of all feeling to seeing fast cars just tear apart the ground as they whiz by. Yes. Exactly. And it is so cool. It's very loud though. If you do go, bring your plugs. Oh my gosh, those cars are brutally loud. And it's a very tight area with so many vehicles. But with dirt track racing as well, it's interesting because as opposed to racing on like an actual like racing line per se, you want to instead go where there's grip. So sometime, and the grip level at various parts of the track, either high or low on the turns, will change quite a bit as the race goes on and as the different heats go by. So you know, you can start out with the entire track being kind of more of a loamy, more of a cushiony, grippy, very kind of soft. Sort of grippy dirt track, and as the cars kind of race right around the middle groove, that part kind of gets harder and harder as well, as you know the drivers compress the dirt down, and the dirt kind of gets kind of squishy, not squishy, but kind of more squelchy instead of squishy, very slick, very muddy, and instead then you then see more or less two lines occur. You'll see some drivers going a bit slow on the curves, but taking a shorter distance by going down on the inside and gradually working lower and lower as that layer of sort of soft cushion goes away. And then you have other drivers taking a long way around but carrying a lot more speed through the corners, going around the outside. Oh dear. Yeah, you'll have more drivers going around the outside as well. And you'll see sort of that cushion gradually wear away, and then you'll see drivers go back to the middle of the course where, although it's still not quite as much grip as before, the middle of the course is now where there's now going to be a layer of rubber mixed in with the mud, and that allows them to grip just a little bit more. And you get to watch the track like change in real time much faster than you would like any tarmac track. And it is really cool seeing that happen. And seeing which drivers can adapt to that, which drivers can't. You need to be very adaptable in dirt track racing. Alright, we're in second place. First place is very far into the lead. My word. This is very... Yeah, that Mercedes is being brutally quick right now. We need to make sure we get at least hold on to second place, get some more points so we can maintain our ranking. Yeah, this Mini, it is a real David and Goliath situation. This little Mini, it doesn't have a whole lot of power, not a whole lot of grip, but it is lightweight. It is maneuverable enough that it can beat vehicles that are much faster, much grippier than it. Oh, but it is tricky. You're pushing the entire way around. Bunzo, hi there. The cat is now joining us for the stream. She is now sitting just to my right. Hi there. Gotta make sure I watch myself. I don't roll over her with the chair. I do sometimes on especially on more high intensity races. I do kind of like slightly roll back and forth in my chair just a little bit. She can't enjoy motorsport. I have tried to get the cat to watch motorsport. She doesn't necessarily watch that much, but she does enjoy watching animated movies. Whenever the wife, because my wife loves watching all the different like animated movies, everything like Disney, Pixar, like the Japanese animated movies, stuff from Studio Ghibli. The cat will always come watch with her. But her favorite, like Bonzo, her favorite movie is The Aristocats, because she whenever for other animated movies it's more or less it's a reasonable chance that she'll come sit down and watch them with us on the couch. But for The Aristocats, like every time she will sit there and she will be like very, very, very attentive, watch it. So I think that may be her favorite movie. If cats can have favorite movies. She also likes to watch baseball with the wife. Cause my wife, she loves baseball, all kinds of baseball, everything from the American baseball to the cat digs Aristocats. Who would have thunk it? Yeah, in retrospect, it kind of makes sense because it's a cat watching animated cats and everything. But no, she loves the Aristocats. It's one of her favorite movies. But she also likes watching baseball with my wife as well. Although my wife sometimes scares a little bit when her favorite teams are doing well and she ends up cheering for them. She can be a little bit loud. But I mean, she is as invested in baseball as I am in motorsport, so I can't really. It's kind of a pot and kettle in that regards. All right, Peugeot 406 Coupe, BMW Z4. That's gonna be a very tough race. On a mountain challenge. Let's see what we have here. Oh boy, there isn't a whole lot we can really race with right now. Let's see what we have here. Maybe there's something a little bit better here. Old relic car race. Let's do this one. It'll be a less points, but we have a chance to win two very, very nice lunches. One that was very, very famous in Group B. One that was very famous in Group A touring. Group A rally racing. Looks very, very nice. Yeah, no, my wife, she loves all kinds of baseball. She tries to watch all the different leagues, including everything from the standard sort of American baseball. She also likes watching a lot of the Japanese baseball as well, and she likes reading up on all the different like superstitions and curses and everything in Japanese baseball as well. Like for example, with the Hanshin Tigers. One of the ones she was telling me about a little bit earlier, I think a couple days ago, that she was reading up on that she was like super fascinated about, is there's the Colonel's Curse. So in Japan, KFC is actually surprisingly popular, and oftentimes in Japan they have a lot more of the mascots in full display in front of a lot of the restaurants. In the Hanshin Tigers, the fans are known to be a bit rowdy, very, very, they can be a bit, but sometimes in a good way. But after a win, some of the fans took a statue of the KFC Colonel Sanders, and threw it into a river. And after that happened, a whole bunch of the team lost a whole bunch of games. They were in a big slump for the longest time after that, like almost immediately after that happened. So fans half jokingly, half seriously called it the curse of the Colonel. So they thought, okay, well if we get the Colonel out of the river, we can get them, we can return to glory. We can start winning games again. So they started searching the river. They started searching the river for the colonel. They couldn't find him. They think they at most found like an arm or something like that. And because of that, for the longest time, the Hanshin Tigers, which are the team based in Osaka, Japan, they had like a really poor, really they were in a pretty big slump. I forget exactly how the curse was broken. I think it was like they created a brand new statue for the KFC that was there, or something like that. But regardless, yeah, there's a whole bunch of like myths and superstitions and a whole bunch of like ceremonies and stuff that she likes reading up about, which is really cool. Because the only thing more superstitious than a racing driver reminds me of the Cubs curse. Yeah, the Cubs curse as well. The only thing more superstitious than a racing driver is a baseball team or a baseball fan. It seems they're like, oh, if you wear this hat this day, you're gonna, the team's gonna lose. Don't do that. Or I gotta wear my favorite jersey so my player does well. If I don't wear my jersey, that they're gonna do poorly. It is interesting seeing some of that and reading up on the different baseball superstitions. And also like the different like ceremonies, like the, it's just super cool. Which is weird because I'm not that big into baseball, but I like watching other people that are really into baseball watch baseball, because it's fun to see them just super excited about that. And it kind of gets you excited as well, because you're like, yeah, they're excited, so you're excited type of deal. Maybe I'm just a dog. Oh wow, you're excited. I'm excited too now. But no, it is a lot of fun watching other people watch something that they are really passionate about, and seeing their reactions. Plus, also, it is kind of fun to tease her just a little bit, with the different things that happen. Because I like teasing her, like, they're gonna strike him out. They're gonna strike him out. It can be infectious. It's true. Yes. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Like, sure, the saying is misery loves company, and that is true. But excitement also loves company. If one person's excited and you bring a whole bunch of other excited people in there, now everyone's excited, and it's a lot of fun. All right, let's try to get this vehicle. Let's try to get this little mini up to level 10 before we end the stream. That's gonna be the goal. See how long it takes us to do that. This little itty bitty mini. Very successful in both touring car racing and rally racing. I had 2 off-course excursions right at the same spot too. Wow. All right, let's see what we're able to win. Are we able to win a Lancia? We are able to win a Lancia. Yes. Got the Delta Integrale. Very nice. The small little idiot cube. Hashtag small little idiot cube. Oh, I love this car. One of my favorite Group A rally cars. Very nice. I kind of love the box style. All right, we've leveled up. The car has leveled up. We got 2 more levels. 2 more levels to do with this car. Alright, let's see. Our ranking has decreased just a little bit, but as long as we can keep it within the 50s, that is fine. Alright, next race. Let's do it. The Nürburgring Challenge. We might be able to do the Nürburgring Challenge. Chino, Renault Aventime, Vitz RS Turbo. The tricky thing is, though, is the Nürburgring it has the very, very long straights, and the Mini does not have a high top speed. Let's see what else is available to us. Not a whole lot, it seems. Wow. Old rally car race. Let's see what we have here. We can win the Abarth 131 rally. Let's win a whole bunch of rally cars. Let's see if we can get this Abarth one. The Abarth 131 rally. It's a really, really cool rally car. It is a rally car that, due to internal meddling with Fiat and the Fiat company, it is a car that replaced the Lancia Stratos as the premier rally car and as the factory-backed rally car during the mid and late 70s. Despite that, though, the Lancia Stratos, which Lancia was also owned by the Fiat brand. Despite that, the Lancia Stratos was still used quite a bit by privateer teams, and oftentimes the Stratos would beat out the factory-backed 131 Abarths, which is absolutely crazy to think about. You replace a vehicle, you think, okay, this one's going to be faster on the rally stages, but no, that Lancia, there's a reason it is a legendary vehicle, and that's because it was just so fast. It's an Italian spaceship with a Ferrari engine in it. Very, very sleek aerodynamics. Very, 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 for its time, very sophisticated suspension system. Very nice car. And it came in all kinds of beautifully vibrant colors. It's a very nice car. Very lightweight. Little V6 in it. That V6 was also used. That Ferrari V6 was also used to power the Ferrari Dino 246 and the Fiat Dino Spider. Which again the Dino was named after Dino Ferrari, Enzo Ferrari's son, that had unfortunately passed away at a rather young age. But it is, it's a really, really cool engine, really, really cool. The trio of cars that are powered by that engine. Very, very nice. Oh gosh, car sliding. Come on, power out of it with the front-wheel drive. It's one of the benefits of front-wheel drive is if you do get into a slide, you just turn into it and go full throttle, mash the throttle, and you can kind of pull yourself out of a slide. Whereas in a rear-wheel drive car, you can't do that because you would just end up spinning the vehicle. So it's a lot easier to control. You can't really maintain a slide in a front-wheel drive car, but you can at least recover from a slide or getting very loose much easier in a front-wheel drive car than in pretty much any other drivetrain, which is nice. That's why they are very, very fast in the snow, in snow stages, especially before the advent of four-wheel drive. I got one more lap. Let's see what we can do. Full speed ahead, sub 1 minute lap around this track. Almost reminds me of the Goodwood Road course, with the very kind of momentum-based turns. Alright, nice and easy, nice and easy. Get the car through the final couple of corners, make sure we level it up just a little bit more. Final corner, slowly increase the throttle, don't want to understeer into the wall. There we go, right up against there. Full speed ahead. The little inline 4-cylinder engine of the Morris Mini. Very, very nice. Ah, yes. I probably only have maybe one more race, depending on how that goes. Let's see if we're able to win the Abarth 131. Okay, that's fine. The game has been very mean to us in regards to winning vehicles. Been very, very rude. Very, very mean to us. Oof, yeah. No, I was hoping to win that Fiat, the Fiat 131 Abarth. Even despite the fact that it got beat pretty handily by the Lancia Stratos, it is still a very, very, very nice rally car. Very, very nice car. Alright, we need to enter a very good high points paying race here. Nürburgring Challenge. Let's see what we're up against. Fitz, Julia, 300 SL. We actually got a decent chance at this. Let's do it. Nürburgring race for the final race with the Mini. Let's see if we can't win this. Make sure we use the lightweight nature of the Mini and the agility of it to the best of its ability. We need to get a good launch off the line. Minimize the wheel spin, which with the very, very narrow lower grip tires on it, it's gonna make things difficult. Alright, everyone's gonna be urging and barging. Gotta turn this Mini into a maxi. Yes, we gotta maximize the Mini power. Come on, full speed through the high speed twisty bits. We need to make sure we get as big of a lead as possible because this car only maxes out at just over 100 miles an hour. And this track has a 1.3 mile long straight. And multiple other very, very long straights as well on it that are going to allow them to catch up. So we need to be able to use the agility of the Mini to the best of its ability, to the best of our ability, so we can stay ahead of the competition. Come on, full speed. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We've got this. We have a decent gap. We're topping out at 103. The Corvette is 4 seconds behind. That's gonna rapidly shrink on this high speed section, but the Corvette's not all that great on the turns. So there's a chance. But it is we're gonna see it slowly approach us in the rear view on this high speed section. Come on, Mini. Come on. I'm not seeing it in our rear view yet. This is good news. This is good. But when it does come, there it is. Oh, it is right there. All right, easy, easy, easy. All right, onto the brakes now. Clutch. Get into second gear. All right, need to accelerate out of this turn, out accelerate a Corvette. We can do that, right? Corvette's only got a massive 400-some cubic inch V8 engine in there. Whereas we have a 1.2 liter little inline 4. Still, the Nordschleife is a very difficult track to pass on. I can't believe the ever race Formula 1 cars. Yep, underdogs are the ones that need to win. Everyone roots for them. And I'm certainly rooting for this Mini. Alright, we're going through some twisty bits now. And use this to our advantage. Ride up on the curves, use the curves as much as we can. Keep the speed up through the corners. Oh, the Corvette's got a good straightaway to pass us on. Oh, and there it goes. Alright, off the throttle just a little bit, get the car turned in. Oh, easy. Come on, we got this. All right, back through some twisty bits. Now it's going to be advantage Mini for a little bit. So we can take some of these corners at a much faster pace than the Vette. The Vette is fast in a straight line, but it is heavy. It does have the advantage of having independent rear suspension though. Which for a muscle car is wasn't all that common. The Corvette rear suspension was actually really, really cool. It had a leaf spring that basically connected the left and right side wheels, but the axles themselves were able to move independently. but due to the use of the leaf spring, a single fairly large leaf spring, they were able to save weight at the rear of the car and keep the car relatively, for a vehicle with the engine that big, they were able to keep the car fairly lightweight, and that was used on the C2 and the C3 generation Corvettes. Very, very cool suspension design, which is a little tidbit that not a lot of people know about those generations of Corvettes. But oh, they are very, very cool, and because of that, they handled fairly well. Again, for their weight class and for their size. All right, we're going on to a very long straight now. It's going to be advantage Corvette. Yeah, Corvette may have this in the bag. I mean, we may need to settle for second place. Oh, bouncing off the rev limiter. This is painful. I even adjusted the transmission to be just a little bit more towards top speed as well. But oh man, this is I only got a top speed of about 103 miles an hour. Not all that fast. Poor engine is hanging on as best it can. Yeah, I know it's not good to redline your engine like that either. You do risk blowing the engine or having other issues. Valve could kiss piston. Piston could go through piston could go through cylinder head. Piston could go through oil pan. Yeah, it is not good bouncing the engine off the rev limiter. Very, very dangerous. Valves start to float. And especially these older engines, they don't have the electronic fuel cutoff like modern engines do. So it's even more dangerous to try to redline them. Because they will redline until they break. Whereas the fuel cutoff and rev limiter on more modern engines does help a little bit with bouncing off the rev limiter and making it a little bit safer to redline. Still not good for the engine, but somewhat safer, where if you do end up doing it, you're not going to damage the engine too much if you stop almost immediately as it starts. Oh gosh. Alright, clutch in, gear, go, 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 go. Engine exploding is kind of a fascinating in itself. I love watching a good dragster explosion. Yeah, drag racing is very, very, very hard on pretty much any component on the vehicle, any driveline component, be it engine, transmission, drive shaft, rear axles, rear differentials, everything is under such load because the track itself is grippier. The track itself is grippier than like standard asphalt. Because they spray this rubberized glue onto it to help the tires stick better, and also they do rub like old drag slicks along the track as well to really rubber in the track. So you're more so racing on rubber than you're on asphalt. Like it is very, very sticky. One of my buddies who used to work at the drag strip that's just north of me, he said, yeah, you try to walk across it. And you gotta make sure your shoes are tied really, really tight, because if you're not careful, if you try to walk across it with your shoes a bit loose, you go to step and your shoe will stay stuck onto the track, and you'll begin walking away without one of your shoes. And because of that, and because you're launching from 0 miles an hour to get to top speed as fast as possible, with even more grip than normal, you're kind of saved a little bit by kind of launching from low speeds on standard asphalt with usually your tires breaking traction. But the drag strip, with the high grip surface on the drag strip, that doesn't happen, which is why you see so many vehicles break down on the drag strip, because they're having much more force being put through the drive system compared to normally. And you really need to beef up pretty much all the driveline components if you do want to take a vehicle drag racing. Okay. We did lose a little bit of time with that spin. We may be passed by a minivan. I hope we don't get passed by a minivan, but we may get passed by a minivan. It is slowly catching us. I don't see it on our rear view just yet. We haven't gotten to the uphill. I do see it catching us on the mini-map. The arrow, the yellow arrow is getting closer to our red arrow. There it is. It's in the rear view. I can't go any faster. Our doors got blown off by a minivan. I can't go faster. How does it feel to be on the other side? It's painful. It's embarrassing. We lost second place right at the end there. And that is why racing at the Nordschleife, it is very difficult. Because if you tune your vehicle up for like acceleration and the cornering and everything, it doesn't have enough power, it doesn't have the good gear ratio for that long straight. You will be murdered on that straight. The minivan beat us. That's sad. That's big sad. All right, let's see what vehicle we're able to win. Miata or Corvette? Ooh, that is a tough one. That is a tough one. Miata or Corvette? Miata or Corvette? That's tricky. That is very tricky. I'm gonna go probably with the Vet. Just because the Vet's with Miata, it's probably more fun at lower speeds. That is true. Slow car fast is a lot of fun. That is that. But with that, it is. But you also get the V8. You get the V8 power of the Vet though, which is very, very nice. And the Vets themselves, especially from 4th generation onwards, they are no slouches in the cornering department either. They are very, 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 very good in the cornering. So, Miata or Vet? I'm probably still gonna go with the Vet. But I'm probably gonna choose one of the classic Vets. That way it'd be very, very fun to go cruising in. Like add like a C1 through C3 generation Corvettes. Just, with that way you can have, the very, very nice sort of classic American sports car vibe with it. Because that I don't think you could ever get with the Miata. Granted, the Miata does have the very, very lightweight sort of British roadster, but with reliability vibe. I'm still gonna go with the Vet, but just barely. The Vet just barely wins out in that regards. We're gonna be choosing our vehicle that we're gonna be racing for the next Enthusia stream. Let's see what we have here. We got everything from the Mazda Miata. Apt question. The Tiara Tamara. Very, very terrifying vehicle. We got the ASL Garia. I've never known how to pronounce that vehicle. ASL Garia. How do you pronounce that? May as well learn that as I'm going on the stream. how to pronounce? Give me a second. Graia. Okay, it's Italian, but it's a Japanese car with the Nissan SR engine in it. We already used the S2000. We have a Viper, and we've got the MR2. So we're gonna pull up the handy dandy random number generator from 1 to 5. 1 being the Miata, 5 being the MR2, and we're gonna do some generations. 5. Okay, the MR2. So snap oversteer. So much snap oversteer. Oh gosh, this car is gonna be terrifying to drive. This car, very beautiful car. Very, very terrifying vehicle. It comes in a lot of really good colors as well. Guy I knew in high school used to have one of these. Granted, he had the naturally aspirated version, but even then, he ended up wrecking it in the rain. These are very terrifying cars to drive. I'm gonna do it in the orange metallic. Very, very nice. I love that kind of color. Alright, and before we get off on the stream, I am going to adjust the settings of the vehicle so that the vehicle is a little bit more stable. Stiffen up the front just a little bit. And a little bit more rear camber. Slightly higher. And dial back the limited slip. There we go. Perfect. Alright. That should be ready for next time we stream this game, which would be next Thursday, provided no other scheduling issues. Thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the stream, do be sure to leave a like. Let me know I'm doing well. Like, subscribe. Let me know I'm doing well in the comments below. If you didn't like the stream, I do apologize. If that's the case, thank you, Bits and Bytes. I appreciate that. If you didn't like the stream though, do be sure to leave a dislike. Let me know I'm doing poorly so I can fix that in the future. Regardless, so thank you all so much for watching. I've been Isaac Umbras, and wherever you're in the world, whatever time of day it may it be a great time for you. And I will see you on the next stream. Take care. Bye!